Good morning, good afternoon, greetings all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the Fibre2Fashion and Post Digital joint webinar on GSDQuest. So we live in the world of AI. With AI, we can be bold to dream, imagine, and visualize greater things, things which were not possible in the previous times. So if you are a brand or if you are a manufacturer of a fashion apparel, imagine that you can create your costing within seconds from an image of your style. What, using the power of AI, what could that kind of a tool, a powerful tool in your hands, do to you, to your work content, to your business, and to your work life balance, right? So, this is a quest about a dream of such nature and whether it is possible in today's time as we speak in 2025. Can we leverage it to your own lives and your business to improve, make it more efficient, make give more time to your life, not just hard work but smart work, right? So these are the possibilities which we can imagine and think of when it comes to using AI with GSDQuest. So today, in the next 40 minutes, we are on a journey to find out whether all this can be achievable in real time as of today, right? So with that, let's get into the session. So I am Karthik Doreswamy. I am with Coach Digital as a director for sales and customer success for South Asia. I take care of 4 countries: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. So I'm based in Bangalore. I come from digital transformation expertise background. I've been with companies like Siemens, IBM, catering to Industry 4.0, solutions, application of those solutions on ground in manufacturing world, application of digital transformation technologies to improve the lives of both manufacturers and designers at large. And with Coach Digital, I have an agenda. I'm to digitally transform the fashion supply chain, working both closely with the brands and also the fashion apparel manufacturers in South Asia. So we have with me my colleague, very esteemed colleague Neeraj Rana. He's one of the very valued expert in digital transformation in the fashion industry with over 2 decades of experience in the domain. He has been well respected by the clients and our colleagues for his expertise. He is with us, and we want to unravel this GST quest along with Neeraj Rana today. Neeraj, do you want to give a few words of your own bio before we
Sure,
proceed?
sure. Thank you, Karthik. Thank you for introducing. And definitely, yes, said this AI has been really changing a lot of things in our life. In the even our day-to-day life, it has been impacting a lot. Now we are thinking in a all different way, and it's no-brainer that we have to use it into our apparel business, where we are struggling in a lot of things. And if AI comes in and help us in doing a lot of things in a better way, it will really help us in creating our value. So that value creation we are trying to show today with the GSD, that what we have brought onto the table, what we have changed, and what would be the future looks like for the apparel manufacturing. And regarding me, I guess I am heading as a solution consulting for the South Asia region. I have been spending a lot of time in doing the researches and developments and how we can move further to use technology and do a digitization in the present manufacturing landscape. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for that.
Neeraj. I have lots and lots of questions to you as a layman, and let's unwind all these questions in the coming session, right? So
Sure.
here, team, here is a small agenda which we are going to cover. So we will start with what are the challenges which manufacturers are facing today. Manufacturing challenges affects both brands and the manufacturers as is. And a very quick intro about Coach Group and Coach Digital, the agenda of Coach Digital, and we will also see what work content means in our industry and relational SMV, how does it play an impact, and then we'll jump into the GSDCost and the GSDQuest, the AI enabled functionality within GSDCost, and then we'll open it up for question and answers. And we'll love to hear a lot of questions from you guys as well. I have consolidated a list of all questions which I have heard from both the brands and the customers over the last few months when we discussed about Quest, which I will any which ways ask Neeraj and have an answer about it. And we'd like to hear from you also if some of the questions are not covered during the session, right? So with that, let's go direct into the webinar. So what are the key manufacturing challenges fashion industry is facing today, right? So one of the major challenges is in the planning issue. So because there is no consolidated tool, there is no consolidated platform. So if you don't have that, then the pre-planning issues becomes huge for the manufacturer, right? Design and development bottlenecks, because when you design certain things, you design, you may miss certain critical paths, right? So if you don't have a consolidated design and development platform, that's going to affect a lot for the manufacturers as well. Design and manufacturing should go hand in hand. That is all Industry 4.0 is all about. So you should manufacture to your design, how you visualize the design. If you can achieve that, then we will bring a lot amount of efficiencies. If we don't, then it is going to be a challenge, right? In terms of cost, in terms of time, in terms of effort, we'll be wasting a lot on that. And the inefficiencies in both material and also the labor, the work content. That is one of the major challenges of the manufacturer. And then there is a production delay, right? And critical path management failures, shipping and Q&A issues, right? So outside of this, brands also go through a lot of challenges. One of the major challenges, the supply chain disruptions, which we could see today. It started with, in a large way with COVID, where the entire supply chain has been thrown into chaos, and the whole world suffered from that. And then we recovered from that, and we got into multiple wars. And now with tariff scenarios, and ever-changing multipolarity, huge amount of changes are happening in the industry side, which we are which is affecting both the brands, the manufacturers, and the customers, right? So with that, let's get into with that challenges in the context. Let's dive into what Coach is about, and what is the agenda of Coach Digital, and how the topic of AI using GSDQuest can address some of these challenges, right? Uh, so on Coach, so I'm sure every one of you might already know about Coach. We are a 270-year-old company. We are the pioneer in the threads manufacturing and threads business, and we are a trusted partner and supplier to the fashion world for last almost like 3 centuries now. One of the interesting bits about Coach as a brand is that I'm sure like everyone hearing to this webinar will be aware about of the story of we as humans landed when we landed on moon, right? It is one of the big step towards for the humanity. It's a small step, but very very big step towards accelerating the humanity in space advancements. And when we did that, with the NASA astronauts, the entire space suit is stitched together by coach threads with the coach threads. So Coach is a very very valued brand based in headquartered in London, and with over a 2,000 20,000 workforce across 100 plus of manufacturing locations across the world. We serve to the fashion industry. We supply premium threads, and not only threads, shoe, accessories, support, and now with Coats Digital, we also supply digital solutions to the fashion supply chain. Right. So Coats Digital, it is a division of Coats to supply digital transformation solutions, right? And to the both the brands and also the manufacturers, and thereby helping both the brands and manufacturer leverage the technology, digital technology, and optimize their supply chain. So we are the industry experts. We have a global reach, and we have local support facilities in various of the countries where we operate in, and we are technology leaders in the digital transformation space when it comes to this industry, and we are trusted by over 1,000 brands, several thousand customers, and we are well connected to, right? So with that, if you look into the Neeraj, if you could move to the next slide. Yes.
Sure, Karthik. Yeah.
Yeah, so Neeraj, let's start with the work content, right? So, what do you mean work content? Means to the industry, to the brand, to the manufacturers, right? So, what is the impact of it? Why somebody should be knowing about the work content, and how can they leverage with the idea of work content?
Thank you, Karthik, for the introduction and plus helping us to understand where the world is moving. And when I talk about the work content, so everyone knows you need to know about the work content. If I have a style, how much minute it should take to produce. Now there are different means of calculating the work content. Somebody are using historical estimates. They are using a historical database, and some are using a time study for that, or they may be having collected data from some very long period of time. They're using that. But somewhere these things are not working, because or they're working maybe there are a lot of challenges, or the questions comes in how you have used this number. If you're saying if a polo is taking 16 minutes or 17 minutes, how that is coming in. Now how is a question which nobody is able to answer, and nobody is able to rely on that how number, that how it is generating. And this work content now becomes very important for us, because let's say for example, this tariff situation has come up. Now this tariff situation is pushing us to go better into our process of measuring and calculating everything. Because right now, maybe earlier we were using any other means, but now that the tools which we're using needs to change and update it, so that we can again fine tune that. And plus we are on a scientific standard. We know that if I'm going to use some tool to evaluate this will give me a right number. And that the both parties can rely on. Your manufacturer can also rely on, plus your brands can also rely on. Right now, there is no reliability. The reliability is always as a question. So work content is simple that I need to calculate, I need to know what the styles, then the minutes would be to produce, or even it could go down to your sewing process, to your finishing process, to your packing process. So it could be all your different processes. What is the amount of time required to produce one garment. Now, as I said, there are different ways. One is historical, which is a database people are using. The second is a time study. And third thing is a scientific tool, which we see that people are also using scientific tools. And like GSD is also a scientific tool. When I talk about, so I'll also, talk about a little bit more detail about one of the basically tool is the time study that a lot of people are using. Now, time study is like, it's a very easy, people think it's very easy. I can take a stopwatch. I can train any person in half an hour. He can go down to the shop floor. He can start recording the times, and then after average it out, and then I'll make an SMV. But if you look at this entire process, this is not a standard. This is a performance-based system. When I say performance, that means it is relying on my performance today. My performance may be good today, bad today, or it can be anything. Or my performance is not as good as possible what I want it to be. But I'm solely relying on the performance of me as the standard for your business. Now imagine this. Now performance can change. Today, my performance, I'm producing 50 pieces in an hour. 1 hour produce 50, next hour I produce 55, third hour I produce 54, and the fourth hour I start producing 57. Now, which will you consider? Generally, what you try to do is when even you take the reading, One, maybe in one piece you have 33 seconds, the other is 34 seconds, 32 seconds, 30, 28, and 35. So there are variation. And because that's a performance. And the variations could be from ranging from 28 to 35. Now, what we'll try to do, we'll try to do an average. Now, when we do an average to it, it's like 28 and 35. If I look at it, the average is around, 32. So basically, I have missed the high potential, which was 28 seconds. And also a lower side also I have considered, and I'm coming into the middle of it. Now you look at it. I'm not just looking at one operator. I'm looking at 20 or 25 or a 30 operator in a line. Each one is working in a different way. I'm capturing those and then relying on that data. So you can imagine how subjective is that, because performance can change. Performance is not standard. If operator changes from today to tomorrow, it also changes. That means my SMV should also change, but because that's how the performance is being reflected. So I'm seeing that performance variations being included by this time study. It is very good that I can have a stopwatch, I can go down there and record it. But at the end, it is bringing problem to me because I'm relying on the performance. I really do not know where I'm standing today. I'm comparing performance against the performance of the people. So what I do, I identify one operator. Now I'll take 10 different operators. I will give that same time to all those 10, and everyone is working in a different way. Maybe there was two guys who can work better. They can take only 25 seconds. Then, but your target has been given, that is changing. The targets are given lesser target as compared to what they can do. So the entire math around this, which you look at the things we have set up is wrong. I don't, it's not the right tool. The time set is good for capacity benchmarking. It is good for identifying the bottleneck, but it is not a tool which can set a standard for you. So that becomes very challenging in terms of the time studies. I hope I'm able to, explain you also, and plus the our audience as well, that that this is a key problem that we are struggling nowadays.
Absolutely is. I think, so that means, if I am in the fashion world, whether I'm a brand or even a manufacturer, right? So the first thing I need to understand is the culture of understanding the work content scientifically, correct?
Yeah,
So that
correct.
should be the first, step I should be taking. Okay. All right, great. So let's move ahead.
Yeah. So basically, so that's the problem statement that I've done. I'm not spend much of time in GSD. I can speak, throughout the day for GSD. It
I
runs
know
into
that.
my blood. So I'll not go into that. I get so passionate about speaking about GSD. So let me go further. So basically, what we do in GSD, the very common language, small, a language I would like to explain this. It's all human motion. If you are even walking, that's a human motion. If you're sitting, it's a human motion. If you are opening a box, it's a human motion. If somebody is working in a kitchen, also that's also human motion. So, so in 1940s, there were some studies done that they defined the MTM system. MTM is the method time measurement. That I'm using method. There is a time fixed for every motion, and I will use that method to evaluate and then define a process for doing it. So if I'm opening anything, there could be a standard time that I can generate. If you open, I open, the time for opening of both of us can be different. Maybe you are taking 3 seconds to open, maybe I'm taking 5 seconds to open. That is my performance right now. You are taking three and I'm taking five. But the standard is 2 seconds. In 2 seconds, I should be able to open a box because that is coming through my MTM that I have done, in 1940s. So what we did in GSD is we took that 1940 data. In 1970s, we established the GSD. We used those motion codes and started defining the codes for the apparel industry. Now, in the apparel, if I'm an operator, what I'm doing is I'm taking the panels and folding the panels, aligning those panels, and then putting under the machine foot, stitching it, cutting the thread. So I'm doing a repeated motion throughout morning to evening. And these motion are standard motion. If I have to pick up, I will always pick up from my, fingers. I will always pick up from my, this hand. I will always pick up from here. I will always fold like this. So what we did, we defined a standard process for each and everything through that motion tools. So what it helps me, it defines a process. How do I pick up? How do I fold? How do I stitch? How do I cut the thread? And how do I, dispose to the next workstation? So we are analyzing this entire activity and defining a process by using GSD motion codes. At the same time, we are also evaluating non-value added activities at the same time. Because non-value added could be you are taking 3 seconds and I'm taking 5 seconds. So that means I'm doing some non-value added activity. That's why I'm taking 5 seconds for that opening of the box. But the standard is saying 2 seconds. So my performance is 5 as compared to 2 it should take. So when we are working on the GSD, we are also evaluating those motions, what are necessary, what are unnecessary, what are value addition, non-value addition, and then we remove those non-value addition. So when I remove those non-value addition, that means my performance is getting better day by day. That means if I open the box in 5, but you train me, you don't have to open like this. You have to hold it like this and open like this. So then I reduce my time from 5 to 4 seconds. Then I read practice it again for 3 more days, and then I open from 4 second to 3 second, and then closer I went to 2 seconds. So that means I'm becoming closer to my second. So my performance has gone better. I'm using a day example, but I think this is more, same like what we do in apparel. If the operators are folding in a different way, we have to tell them how do you have to fold it. What's the standard process of doing? How you have to pick up? How's my workplace layout? So when we standardize this and when we remove the non-value added activities, we will get a performance boost from there. So coming back to here, so let me just quickly make that through. So GSD is the motion codes that we have. We have standard motion codes, processes there. We use those motion codes to, create the operations. And then from operation, we create the parts like the feature is collar, cuff, sleeve, front and back. This is kind of a library we are creating in GSD, and that will be used to make a complete garment that is assured. So we follow bottom to top approach in GSD, where we work on the grassroots level. That's the minute level that we are working. And on the top, we are building the data over it.
Interesting. Yeah. So basically, if I am into the fashion business, I need to first understand the work content scientifically. Then I need to use the foundations of GST to understand what are the needed motions and what are the unwanted actions, right? So that I can eliminate all the unwanted motions and thereby, eliminate inefficiencies and bring efficiency using scientific methods. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's right.
Fantastic. Great. So I
Yeah.
have, few more questions on if we as we proceed along. Uh,
So definitely, it will be love to. I would love to answer your questions. Okay, let me proceed further, and then tell us where we focus on basically. So our focus definitely when we work with any factory, for example, in case we always like to do work in creating manufacturing excellence, because when you do manufacturing excellence, you are reducing your cost of manufacturing. That's very simple, and then you are able to help people to produce better. So everyone is happy at the end of the day. But how this will be done, that first you need to do a method engineering, redo your methods, rework your methods, what methods people are using right now, standardize those using GSD, make it a standard practice, and also do a better workplace layout, that how the panels are placed. It's the left hand side, is the right hand side, or do I have to give an extension for him so that he can easily handle? Because these are human motion that we are doing. If I do extra motion, I have limited time in a day that I'm using. So my time will be consumed with that. If I limit those my handling time and ensure that I'm optimizing my workplace layout and method is better, then it becomes I'm optimizing my productivity at the end. So basically improving better in terms of that. Then it gives you, better planning, the quality also get impacted. And then I'm also able to perform, monitor the performance of the people at the same time. So once I achieve this manufacturing excellence, then I do the costing optimization, which is I have an accurate costing now. I'm not saying that GSD will always reduce your SMV. It will bring you towards the accuracy. Maybe you are doing the under costing as well. There are cases we have seen the people are doing under costing. They should be, maybe the SMV could be a little bit higher. But we bring accuracy to the table, that you are of a standard and a scientific. And that helps you in also doing a negotiation as compared you are above the limit or you are below the limit, and then you can come to a common ground. This is my scientific pillar, and from that, this is what I'm going to achieve. So this basically, what we try to do, drive with the implementation on the GSD. Yeah. So any comments from you, Karthik? You think, this is, I'm sure this is very valuable at the end when we go back to the basics of doing the improvements.
so yeah, so I think manufacturing excellence, costing optimization, from work content and GST, I think it looks very uh, compelling to learn, right? And what are the challenges you face when it comes to costing?
Yeah, that's a very good topic, Karthik, because it's definitely a tedious task to do a costing. So, specifically talking about the costing. So, when the a brand sends any tech pack or sends you picture, I want to do the costing for this. Now there are some team of costing engineers which are sitting in the business, and they are trying to, as soon as they receive it, they have a rush hour starting, because in 24 hours or in 16 hours I need to finish that up and give it to my marketing so that they can submit it, because it's a time crunch. There is only not only one factory doing the costing for the same product. There could be 10 different factories doing the costing for the same. The brand may be speaking to 10 different places, and the response time should be very quick. If I take more time, definitely I'm losing the edge over here. But it takes time, because if I have to look at the garment, I have to look at the process of doing it, the parts which it has, how the construction goes at, all the things I need to look at it. There's a huge amount of pressure. And and also there's one more thing that has changed in the past. If I talk about last 5 years especially, the number of styles we are doing in a business has drastically gone up. So every year there's a 20% more style which are coming in the table. So basically, earlier I was doing 100,000 pieces in one style, but now it's not one style. There could be 20 styles. So my order fragmentation has gone up definitely, and number of styles has really gone up, which is impacting, the workmanship which I need to do. Because for one style, I'll do 10 processes. So for 10 style, I still need to do 10 processes. I cannot remove those processes. So then I need, huge team to build those and get together all those style. And that's not possible that I can have an army just to do the costing. So we need some definitely a breakthrough in that. We need, some, which can help us, which can reduce the manual effort, which can capture the every detail which matters. It also the accuracy brings the accuracy and standardization, and also it does not, take that much time. So that is something which we have to really look at in terms of solving those challenges.
So, Neeraj, if I am a manufacturer, if I am a mid-size manufacturer, I'm getting, let's say, 100 styles, right, in a week for my
Right.
team, where I need to do the costing. Maybe 100 will not all convert into orders, but I'm getting 100, let's say, but I need to respond back to those brands, right? And my
Right.
team takes quite a good amount of time, and despite taking the time, they are not accurate in the costing,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they overcost, and then we lose the order, or they undercost, so we get the order but we are at loss. We have to
Correct.
get the order, right? So you're saying both of this can be handled scientifically and bettered it, and move
Yes.
towards more accurate costing in less time. Is that what you're trying to say?
Definitely, definitely. That is, because I'm what if I look at, I'm working on a, double-edged sword over here. If if I'm doing extra SMV garment, this could result in, something else. If I'm doing less SMV garment, it could really impact my, the profitability at the end. So I always have to bring those accuracy, and that to, very time crunch. I don't have a huge amount of time to do that. As I said, it could be 8 hours to 16 hours to 24 hours. But you can, if I have a simple garment, maybe I can do it. But if little bit complexity increase, as we know now, the complexity is going increasing in any garment. Even a round neck t-shirt is not same round neck t-shirt. It comes with printing, it comes with embroidery, it's coming with pocket, it comes with all those embellishment. Now it's not a 5 minute or 6 minutes product. That is also, even a round neck t-shirt I have seen, it is 20 minutes or 25 minutes also, wherein you have a lot of different patches. So as an engineer, I need to visualize all those. As an engineer, I need to look at how this is being done, or how do I capture all those small details. So again, as you said, yes, this is a challenging time crunch is there, and also how much accurate I am. That I am also always in question whether I have looked at all the 30, 40 operations in it, or I missed some. There's always a challenge that it's a human error at the end we can achieve. So and I misses out some of the the operations which are critical. So accuracy, definitely. Standardization is something which definitely requires. Scientific is also there, and in a very short period. That's what we wanted to achieve.
Fantastic. So you're going to achieve this using Quest?
Definitely,
And
yes. This is something, I get excited about the new functionality that we have built in. And, we were, really brainstorming how do we, break through something. And everyone is talking about AI. No, everyone is, is, bulging onto the AI, what is the AI can do, and where in the apparel people are more inquisitive where what it can solve. So we have done a very first bit of it where it's like a AI model, which takes your pictures, analyzes your pictures, and then it is able to give you the costings basically. It's that simple. I'm putting in a very simple language, but there's a huge amount of work which has gone behind that. So people can just upload pictures, and they can give the tag pack pictures to the model, And then it will work on the libraries that you have created. It will identify parts which have the operation it has. And at the end, it will give you a bulletin which you can be relying upon. And it just happens. I'm not saying it will take an hour. It will just take few seconds to produce that results.
So, Neeraj, if I understood you correctly, and if I relate it to the start of our conversation, if I have a style, if I have a picture of my style where I need to do the costing, so I can just upload the picture and the Quest will automatically take care of the work content. It will study the work content and it will apply it as per the scientific knowledge of GST, right? And it will give me the SME results with all the breakdowns of the GST. Is that correct?
Exactly, Karthik. You got it right. This is what we are going to do with the quest.
Wow. So all I need is my style image.
Yes,
As I
you
could
just
get
need an
from.
image. Definitely, you just need an image. Okay, so let me just explain you a little bit what will happen. So I will take a picture, or maybe I can take 5 or 6 pictures of different various parts, and then I will upload into the the GSD Quest. It will start analyzing what product you have done. Then it will start going into the identifying the parts in those. Like it will have collar. There could be 10 different collars, but it will identify the what is the nearest collar you have. Then it will identify your other parts, and then assembling it together. This is your collar, this is your neck, this is your front, this is your back, this is your pocket. And at the end, it just gives you a final result that this is my SMV at the end, which is for the costing of that particular style. It's that easy, to be honest.
Is this all true? Can we see a actual demo of
I'll
the
show you the
product?
live demo. I'll show you the live demo, definitely.
Okay.
So let me just go and bring the GST software. Let me know if you can see my screen on the solution. I just got a
Okay.
dashboard of the, yeah, so dashboard is just telling me the style, feature, operation. This is what my data. Let me just dive into the Quest. So you can see I have a GSD Quest functionality. People who know GSD, they will, relate to the new solution which is there. So I just need to, do browse and analysis over here. And I'll just take this polo. It's very simple garment. I'm not, taking a complicated garment just to stretch on this topic today. But I'll just upload this over here and let system take that and start analyzing. So you can say start thinking that I'm also thinking in the same way the system is also thinking. Now it has identified the product. And then, it is just picking up those, it's a rib collar with the half stand and it is, medium box placket. And it's just giving you a breakdown of each and everything. So I think it's almost done and you won't believe it. In just few more seconds, it will give you a complete garment analysis. Now you can see I got the complete breakdown generated, style costing generated in just 27 seconds. Just 27 seconds, Karthik.
Fantastic. So this, all this which are highlighted in the blue, and if I break down that SMV, these are all in line with the work content identification and also all the GST techniques, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. That's the beauty of it. So if I look at these are all again picked up from my GSD database that I have built up. So this is the real standard that I have created. And it is picking up the values from there and it is giving me a result from that. So standardization is covered over here, accuracy is covered over here. And then I'm onto the scientific methodology that is also covered. And at the same time, I'm reducing the hours of work into just seconds.
There's just one. I cannot stop one thought which flashed my mind right away. I think I'm sure many of the guys who are listening to this webinar might have that same flash. What if I gave the image to an AI, let's say Gemini or ChatGPT? Won't it throw me the SMV value if I ask for it? And
Definitely,
how
you
different is
can.
that from the Quest?
Very good question, Karthik. I think a lot of people might have done that. And we also tried. I also tried, a couple of months back when the AI was launched. I gave some. But the problem was it was giving me a very vague answer. It was not to a standard. It was giving me, so what it is relying on, you imagine it's relying on the data that is available on the internet. Somewhere someone is writing, somewhere somebody is putting, but it is not an accurate data that is given. It is not going to the scientific standards. Even you write, some more, give me that breakdown, this breakdown, it will give you, but it will not be a scientific way of putting that through. So, but what we are relying on is we are creating a scientific data behind it that is more valuable to you rather than you just ask generative AI, give me a breakdown for that particular style. Yeah, it will give you, but that will never be a close or a good estimation of the SMBs to you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so the generic AIs, they use whatever knowledge which is available in the web,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
try to create something. It is not as accurate as I get it. Okay. So with
yeah.
GST AI, it is more controlled because it uses GST's inbuilt library and the work content based on that. It is as accurate as possible. Correct.
Yes, yes,
So now I
correct.
have another question. Let's say if we have lots and lots of customers using GST. Even
Hmm,
brands uses it, manufacturers uses it, right? And they have created their own libraries. If the brands are
hmm.
using it, they have their libraries based on the brand values, and it is their own IP, which I'm sure, like we also don't have access to it within
Yeah.
GST, right? So it is their own library. Similarly, manufacturers have created tons of library on GST, and
Hmm.
that is their own library. So how does Quest operate in those existing customers, advanced users who has already built tons of library on GST?
I think this is a very good question, Karthik, because if I'm using GSC from last 10 years, I have a very huge amount of data in my data bank. So right now it's working on the QED library that we have. But we also have a vision, or and also we have started working onto it, that this model can also run on your database which you have created in GSC, rather than just on the QED libraries, which is a GSC standard library. So maybe I have 50,000 operations in my library. So this AI which we have built in will be extended towards your data also, and it will give you the results from that as well. We have a target to do this year, that towards the end of this year you will have a model working on a customer library also for a specific customers.
Great, Neeraj. So that means if I read it correctly, GSDQuest, if I am an advanced user, I have created my own IPs using GST, and that is my IP. That is my, cutting edge, or that's an IP which puts my company in the competitive edge. So Quest will work with that while protecting my IP, right? It is not going to expose that to the general public in general. It is going to be my IP still, and it will be protected, and the Quest will work on top of it.
Exactly, Karthik. That's it. It will achieve that also. But yeah, we are just little bit away from that milestone. We will achieve that also in just couple of months. Just wait for a few months, and then you will see that also running in.
I can't wait to see that, Neeraj. It is
Yeah,
all exciting, very very exciting, brilliant.
yeah.
So now what's next, Neeraj? How
So
can we?
yeah, I'll just quickly just show one more step. Like if I click on this, then it will, take me to the breakdown that, what it has identified. So you can see there is a breakdown again over here. Now, if I'm okay with this, I'll just, save this, in my library, I can save, let's say, for example, this is one I'm using. This is polo t-shirt I'm just mentioning. After that, I think we will go back to our deck, and then if I'm okay, and then I will save it, and then it goes further, with that. After that, if I want to change anything, I can change. Even in the generative, the AI that we have used, and then if there are changes, the a person identify, this could be this option. So that option gets also generated at the same time. So that option is available even in here. So if I go and say that, okay, I think there are some more different variation, I will click on this. It's also defining your what could be the variation. You could have this one, or this could be this one. So it's giving you a possible combination at the same time. So you can choose it over here. Okay, I want to choose it with this one, and then I will, apply over here. So I can do that as well. Now after that, it remains same. So I can, rerun that model as well. Okay, so I think I will now come back to the our presentation, and I'll go forward with that.
Neeraj, I have a few more questions on the Quest.
Okay,
Is it okay
sure, sure, sure.
if I ask
Definitely,
you
definitely,
that?
Karthik. I think we
Yeah.
still have some time.
Yes. So, just couple of questions which flashed my mind. One is, okay, so with the costing, we could see within few, less than a minute, we could, arrive at a costing from a style, right? If I'm a brand or
Yeah,
if I'm a manufacturer, I can get the costing, and then I can quickly go and you have shown us how to go and fine tune some of the finer areas. If you don't agree with it, what GST is or the GST Quest is thinking, AI is thinking, we can go and
yeah,
change that, and then we can get the results for the tweaked model very quickly. And all
correct.
put together, it takes less than 2 minutes in total if you do it,
Exactly.
right, per style. So this is fantastic. This is fantastic, right? So with that, we can get at a more accurate costing, which where we measure the entire work content accurately in line with GST, and in line with our IPs also we have created in the future when we get that extension. Perfect. So I have a couple of questions. One is
Sure.
when it comes to this is a question which came from both brands and the customers. Okay, the
Okay.
manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so when it comes to costing, the FOB reduction, now we are living in a very uncertain times because
Mm-hmm.
the tariffs are impacting a lot of business, both brands and the manufacturers. So often, there is a compelling need, very very genuine need for the business to reduce cost. Okay,
Right.
so when let's say 7% reduction in the cost, if the brands
Mm-hmm.
wants it and manufacturers also wanted it as a genuine industry problem, so we need to
Right.
reduce 7%. Let's assume in current scenario, if the brand is also exposed to GST and the manufacturer is also exposed to GST, they look at the breakdowns of the GST manually, and then they can, for a given style, they'll go and change certain types of let's say stitches, right?
Mm-hmm.
A complicated stitches into a lighter one, which is lower on SMV. Thereby, you reduce the costing SMB and
Mm-hmm.
thereby the costing also. So, can't they use the Quest in the same way to reduce that in much faster fashion? Can that be applied either now as is or in the future?
Mm-hmm. No, definitely this can be done, Karthik. I think this is one of the area where, if two parties come together and they want to have a strategic, the relationship and wherein a win-win situation for both sides. So they can do it. GSD is the very good tool where if I'm, brand also running a GSD and a vendor is also running a GSD, it's basically a common platform at the end that if I'm changing anything, what impact it will have in the manufacturer. If I change my pattern, for example, if I, have a split of the two pattern, how much impact it will do in my costing that can be generated. If I change my SPIs, what impact it will do on the costing on the manufacturing side of it. I can quickly evaluate that. So it will not be that I'm always pushing to reduce the cost because SMV also has a saturation, which you have to understand. Like around a t-shirt, if it's if I not doing an automation, it cannot go below 5 or 6 minutes. It will require 5 or 6 minutes to make that silhouette and do that entire thing. So and then a common ground has to be established from there. So GSD, if using is being used by brand and the vendor, the common ground is there. Where if I change and tweak anything, again with the help of Quest, I can do those changes quickly and come to a ground as well. This is what the SMB could be. So my negotiation or my discussion with the customer also become very better. I'm not, if a brand is saying, change this now for in the present situation, I'll take that changes, go back, work around, come back, and maybe it could take few hours as well. But here you can do it by just one simple click as well. No, I want to just replace this collar with that collar, or I want to replace this SPI with that SPI. Now my entire thing is ready within seconds again.
That means the brands and the manufacturers can come onto a call within 5 minutes. They can get the costing done, right?
Exactly. So it
And
saves time for both of them at the end, Karthik, because if I have to, even as a brand, if I have to look at those variations that I have done or the changes, again, have to look back those manually and see, okay, this is what the changes could be. And then I have to relate it, do my costing, do my entire things. So it kills the time, in the both side so that we can save those man hours also.
so that is brilliant, Neeraj. As an Industry 4.0 consultant, throughout my tenure, I have advocated world where a designer can design to the cost accuracy, right? So now with Quest coming in, that is making the dream completely possible. So a designer
Right.
within the brand, he can set the target of the costing, and he can design to it. And if there is a variation to the T point accuracy, and if there is a variation in it, they can sit together with the manufacturers within a few minutes. They can course correct it, right?
Exactly, Karthik.
Certain of
That's the
the
reality now.
It's a
That's the
reality now.
reality now.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant. So that is the
Okay.
value and the impact, right? So what are the other
Correct.
values and what are the other strategic values and the
No,
impact GST Quest can have?
definitely. So if I just find, put into three key pillars over here, like definitely automation is one thing. Then I have efficiency. I'm working towards the efficiency, speed, accuracy, productivity, scalability, all is bundled into that. And then strategic focus, we just spin. So these are the three key pillars that you will get with the help of Quest in build. Definitely a larger values coming from the GSD that how the GSD is placed, but then you just fine tune on those values, which is it's the hour, we are the need of the hour. We say that we need this now. We need to go through that breakthrough and then have that so that we can become better and faster also in that case.
The last point is, very, very interesting because some of the I got this message from few of my manufacturing friends, right, where their
Mhm.
merchandisers today in today's world they are going and sitting with the brands to take the order. They
Mhm.
are finding increasingly complex world in the brand because at the end of the day because of the tariffs and so many challenges which are going on. They want very, very quick because there are so many changes, but they want very quick turnaround
Very
from
good.
the manufacturers, right?
Yeah.
And which today they are not able to do because if they do it, either they get the values very inaccurate, so either they
Yeah.
agree to a lower cost for a higher work content or a higher cost and they can lose the order, right? So
Yeah.
this now they can with Quest they can have more strategic focus and make
Yeah.
high value decisions faster, more accurately, and with peace of mind.
Definitely, Karthik, even if I'm a merchandiser, for example, I'm sitting in the brand and he tells me, take this garment and do me the costing. So I don't have to go back now and do all those work. I can just put that image and get at least a 95 to 98% accurate idea right now, just on my, so my negotiation is speeds up. So even the entire supply chain gets impacted onto us. You do look at a bigger picture onto it. If I'm able to close my negotiation in a very small time, it is impacting my business. So I'm taking a quick decision. It is, order fulfillment, all those gets impacted by this. So it is just not, small thing. It impacts the entire supply chain.
Absolutely, quick decisions and very accurate decisions, right? Backed by
Yeah.
data.
We would love to hear your feedback. Please scan this page and, go to this page, give the feedback. It helps us in building better, because there was a lot of feedback coming in from the last webinars and plus customers. So we went through this, the AI thing. We still need your, the feedbacks, which we can incorporate and then, shape a better future from here on. So I think with that, I'll go to the Q&A slide, Karthik, and we will be waiting for for our question. I can see a lot of questions already put up in the chat, and we would be happy to go through that questions. And also, sorry if we are not able to, really apologize if the time crunch is there. We respect everyone's time. If we are not able to answer your question, we will definitely reach out to you with your question and we will email you. And you can also email us. We will share the contact details as well, wherein we will help you in answering to your questions also.